Continuing on with the prediction videos today, I'm going to try and predict the leading scorer for every NHL team this season. This is another one of those videos that I've done every offseason for the past 3 or 4 years now. So I want to keep that tradition going and give you guys my predictions again this year. Of course, I do want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you disagree with any of my picks, be sure to let me know what your picks for each team would be down below in the comment section. Starting things off in alphabetical order, we have the Anaheim Ducks. I'm going with Trevor Zegras as their leading scorer this season. I'm going to say he finishes with between 70 and 75 points. I definitely feel like this season Zegras is going to establish himself as the Ducks' best forward. Last season, the only player on the team with more points than him was Troy Terry, and I don't really expect Terry to score at quite the pace he did last season again, so I'm definitely going with Zegras here. The Arizona Coyotes, definitely feel like this is a pretty easy one. Have to go with Clayton Keller. I'm going to say he finishes with between 60 and 65 points. He's, in my opinion, by far the most dynamic offensive player on the team. He's led the Coyotes in scoring in 3 of his first 5 NHL seasons. The only player I could really see giving him a run for his money for the team leading points is Nick Schmaltz. The Boston Bruins, with Marchand being out the first couple months of the season, definitely feel like the only right answer here is David Pastrnak. I'm going to say he finishes with between 90 and 95 points. The Buffalo Sabres, I feel like you could actually go a couple different ways with this one. I'm going with Alex Tuch. I think he's going to have a big year in his first full season with the Buffalo Sabres. His first full season really in his career where he's one of the focal points of a team's offense. I'm a big fan of Tuch's game. I feel like he has all the tools to be one of the league's better power forwards. I'm going to say he finishes the season with between 65 and 70 points. The Calgary Flames, definitely going to go with Jonathan Huberdeau on this one. I don't think Huberdeau is going to have quite the explosive offensive season that he just had with the Florida Panthers. I think there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period there. Obviously going to take some time to get acclimated to his new line mates and stuff like that. With that being said, I definitely still fully expect him to lead the Flames in scoring. I'm going to say he finishes the year between 90 and 95 points. The Carolina Hurricanes, another pretty easy one here, definitely got to go with Sebastian Aho. He's led the Canes in scoring in each of the past 5 seasons. I don't really expect that to change this year. I'm going to say he finishes between 80 and 85 points. The Chicago Blackhawks, now usually every year the answer would be Patrick Kane. However, I don't think he's going to finish this season as a member of the Hawks, so I feel like the next best answer would be Seth Jones, and I'm going to say he finishes probably around 50 points. The Colorado Avalanche, the defending champs, easily got to go with Nathan MacKinnon on this one. I still find it so crazy that he's never finished a season in his career with 100 plus points. Now he's had multiple seasons in which he scored at a 100 plus points pace. It's just injuries have kind of prevented him from hitting that milestone. I think he's going to do it this year though, easily if healthy, so I'm definitely going with MacKinnon for the Avalanche. The Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm going with the new face of the franchise, Johnny Gaudreau here, and it's similar to what I said about Jonathan Huberdeau. I don't really expect Johnny Gaudreau to have the explosive offensive season that he just had, finished second in the league in scoring only behind McDavid, but he's still one of the most elite wingers in the league, one of the best playmakers in the league. Fully expect him to still be a beast when it comes to producing points, so I'm going to say he finishes with between 90 and 95. The Dallas Stars, I'm going with Jason Robertson. I'm going to say he scores between 80 and 85 points. They were led in scoring this past season by Joe Pavelski, but you got to think at some point Father Time has to catch up to Joe Pavelski and we see a little bit of a decline in his game. The Red Wings, I'm going to go with sophomore Lucas Raymond. He led the Red Wings in scoring for like the first month or so of this past season, but he kind of hit that rookie wall and slowed down a little bit. I'm definitely expecting a big year 2 from Lucas Raymond. I think he's easily the Red Wings' most dynamic offensive player. I'm going to say he finishes with between 70 and 75 points. The Edmonton Oilers, obviously going with McDavid here. Sure, Draisaitl could be able to give him a run for his money, but I'm not betting against McDavid when it comes to points. I fully expect him to win the Art Ross again, so definitely going with McDavid here. The Florida Panthers, I'm going with Alexander Barkov. Scored at well over a 100 point pace this past season, just wasn't able to hit that milestone due to injury. Could easily see this being Matthew Tkachuk as well. Definitely feel like it's between those two. The Los Angeles Kings, I'm going with one of their new faces, new offseason additions, Kevin Fiala. Just had an 85 point season with the Minnesota Wild, and you're always going to have those people that say he only put up those kind of numbers because he was playing with Kaprizov, but that is actually not the case. They barely played together 5-on-5 at all. Now the power play is a different story, but I fully expect Kevin Fiala to keep up this production with the Los Angeles Kings. I'm going to say he finishes between 80 to 85 points again. Speaking of Kirill Kaprizov, he's definitely my pick for the Minnesota Wild. I feel like Kaprizov in just 2 seasons has already established himself as one of the league's absolute best players. I'm going to say he finishes with well over 100 points again. The Montreal Canadiens, I'm going to go with Cole Caulfield. I think it's super impressive. He finished his rookie season with 20 plus goals and 40 plus points despite how terribly he started the season. He had that little stint in the American Hockey League. I think Caulfield's going to have a big year to score 30 plus goals. I'm going to say he finishes with between 60 and 65 points, like a 30-30 kind of season. The Nashville Predators feel like you get a lot of options here. I'm going to go with Philip Forsberg. Had a career high in terms of points per game this past season with 84 in just 69 games. He's got a new contract now. I think he's going to have a big year, be in that like 90-95 point range, so I'm definitely going with Forsberg for the Preds. The New Jersey Devils, I really feel like there's only one right answer here. I'm going with Jack Hughes. I think he's going to have a massive breakthrough year. I mean, you can kind of say he just had a breakthrough season. It just sucks he missed so much time. I've said this multiple times before. I feel like Jack Hughes has all the tools and all the potential to be a 100 plus point player. I don't expect that to happen this season. I'm going to say he's in between like the 85 and 90 point range. The New York Islanders, easily going with Matthew Barzal in this one. He's led the team in scoring or been tied for the team lead in scoring in every full season of his career so far. I don't expect that to change. I think he's going to bounce back from the season he just had as well. I'm going to say he finishes between 70 and 75 points. The Rangers, another really easy one for me. Gotta go with Artemi Panarin, a superstar, one of the best players in the league. He's led the Rangers in scoring in each of his 3 seasons we spent with them. Has yet to have a 100 point season in his career so far, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say he does that this year and finishes between 100 and 105 points. The Ottawa Senators, this is a tough one. I feel like there's legit 5 or 6 guys you could make a strong case as to why they're going to lead the team in points. I'm going to say it's going to be Tim Stützle. I expect him to have a big year 3. I liked what I saw from him in his sophomore season. I think he showed a lot of progression. The Ottawa Senators are obviously going to be a much improved team as well. I'm going to say Stützle finishes between 70 and 75 points. The Philadelphia Flyers, I'm definitely going to go with Sean Couturier on this one. I think he's easily the Flyers' best player. Obviously, we didn't get to see much of him play this past season. He missed a lot of time due to injury, but I feel like if healthy this year, he's going to lead them in points for sure. The Penguins, what kind of person would I be if I didn't go with Sid here? I mean, you could definitely make a case for Malkin, and I could see that happening. Maybe a guy like Jake Gensel, but I'm done betting against Sidney Crosby. I'm done making predictions against Crosby, so I'm going to go with him as their leading scorer this season. The San Jose Sharks, I'm going with Timo Meier. Just had a big breakthrough season, scored 35 plus goals, led the Sharks in scoring. He was an elite winger this past year. I expect that from him again, so I'm going with Timo Meier as the Sharks' leading scorer. The Seattle Kraken, I'm going to get a little weird with this one and say Matty Beniers. I'm going with a rookie to lead them in scoring. Absolutely loved what I saw from him in the small sample size we got to see him play in the NHL towards the end of last season. Fully expect Beniers to be right there in the Calder Trophy race, so I'm taking him as Seattle's leading scorer. The Blues, another team where I feel like you could make the case for like 5 or 6 guys. I went with Jordan Kyrou. I think he's one of the best young players in the NHL today. Big breakout season for him last year. Him and Robert Thomas, I was kind of going back and forth on who I wanted to choose between them two. I could see it being either of those guys. The Tampa Bay Lightning, definitely going with Nikita Kucherov, one of the absolute best players in the league. I feel like this all just comes down to if he stays healthy. If he does, definitely expect him to lead the team in scoring. He's just a point-producing machine. Speaking of one of the best players in the league, for the Maple Leafs, gotta go with the reigning Hart Trophy winner and Rocket Richard winner, Austin Matthews, first 60-goal scorer since Stamkos did it back in the early 2010s. In my opinion, Matthews is the second best player in the league, third best at worst. He's a beast. I expect him to have another season like the one that he just had. The Vancouver Canucks, I'm gonna go with Elias Pettersson on this one. I think you can definitely make a strong case for JT Miller. I mean, he just had basically a 100-point season, but there's also that kind of thing you have to think about where he may not finish the season as a Canuck. I've always been a big believer in Pettersson, so I'm gonna go ahead and say he leads the Canucks in scoring this year with 75 plus points. The Vegas Golden Knights, I'm going with Jack Eichel. I think we see him get back to that superstar level he was playing at in Buffalo. He had a full healthy offseason to train. He's going to get a full training camp in preseason. I think he's going to come out the gates flying and have a great year. The Washington Capitals, you just got to go with Ovechkin on this one, so that's who I'm going with. I'm going to say he has like a 40 goal, 40 assist kind of season, finishes with 80 plus points. And now for the final team, the Winnipeg Jets, I'm going with Kyle Connor. I feel like this past season he definitely established himself as their most dynamic and lethal offensive player, one of the better goal scorers in the league, such a lethal goal scorer off the rush. Could definitely see a scenario where Mark Scheifele leads the Jets in scoring, but for me, I'm going to go with Kyle Connor. So that is going to wrap up today's video. Those were my predictions on who I think is going to lead every NHL team in scoring this upcoming season. Like I said at the beginning, I want to know your guys' thoughts, so if you disagree with any of my picks, be sure to let me know what yours would be down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you could, please be sure to drop a like on the video. That is the best way to show your support. And most importantly, if this was your first time checking out the channel and you want more NHL content just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you all soon.